This is the podcast on sex-linked traits. When we looking at sex-linked traits, we have to start at sex determination, figuring out who donates what and where these chromosomes are coming from, because this is all about the sex chromosomes right here. And this is the 23rd pair of chromosomes that a human has. So if we look at the father's chromosomes that determine their gender is an XY, and the female is an XX, as we talked about before. And so if you look at the father, when the father goes through meiosis to make his sperm, he can either donate an X or he can donate a Y. Again, each parent donates half. So a dad is X or Y. That's the only thing he can donate. The mother, when she makes her eggs, of course, she's going to donate half, and she can either donate an X or an X. Either way, it is an X. So if we do just a basic plain square over here, where the mother can donate an X, and the father can donate an X or a Y, and then we look at the possibilities of the offspring. If this sperm right here and this sperm, or this egg right here come together, that's going to be an X and X. If this sperm and this egg come together, X and X. But what about this sperm and that egg? They come together in this box, XY and last one XY. So if you look at the possible combinations for just in general, what the gender is going to be, you've got about a 50% chance for a girl and 50% chance for a boy. So what this really means is that number one, the father determines the gender. Right? Because if the father donates a Y right here, it's going to be a boy, and the father's the one that, of course, donates the Y. So we consider him to be the determination of the gender of the child. Now the other thing is you want to look at for men where your X chromosome comes from. If I'm a boy over here, okay, and I look at where I get my chromosomes from, the Y must have come from the father, and the X must have come from the mother. Okay? Boys get their Y chromosomes from dad, they get their X's from mom. That's something to really take into consideration when we these sex-linked traits. So when we scroll down here to sex-linked traits, in general, I'm going to erase all this. There we go. And what we're looking at are traits that are linked to the X chromosome, right? The sex chromosome, specifically the X. Right? We don't really have any traits that are linked to the Y, but just the X. So men are going to be affected a little differently because they only have one X. And the traits we really are looking at are color blindness, hemophilia, and baldness. So I'm going to go to this. Oops, I'm going to go to this trait. Yep, right there. Nope, that didn't happen. So I want to go to right here, and I just want to draw a chart right for you that you can use this inputs when it looks at genotypes of potential offspring. So if you're a female and you're considered normal, let's say you're a normal female, okay, normal female, and that means, of course, that you're X and X because you're female. When we look at X-linked traits and you're considered normal, that means you are homozygous dominant because most of the time, these sex-linked traits are recessive. So if you are a big N, you are normal. If you're a little n, you are affected. So a normal female, a homozygous dominant, would be X big N, X big N. And that would be your genotype. You're a female, but you're normal. Okay. Sometimes you actually might have a normal female, but you're considered a carrier. Right? A carrier, but normal. And all that means is that you're an X and X because you're a female, but this means you're heterozygous, meaning that you're normal, but you can pass on this to your offspring. So whatever trait we're talking about when it comes to sex-linked traits, make sure you use this genotype that says you're a carrier. So if you're a female, the only way you can get the disease, the only way that you can be affected by this disease is if both of your chromosomes are homozygous recessive, middle and middle. That's the only way you can get affected female. So if you are bald or hemophiliac or colorblind, you are homozygous recessive. It's very unlikely because females have two X's, but it can be possible. So we look at men. So if you're a normal male, you're of course XY because you're normal, right? Or because you're a guy. But the X that you have is going to be big N, right? Your There is no link to the Y here, only to the X. And so if you're an affected male, you're of course an XY because you're male, but your X is little n. So that means that for men, you've got about a 50-50 chance of getting this disorder. Either you're X big N Y or X little n Y and you're affected. Okay, so these are all the genotypes that you need to keep with you when you go about doing some of these problems. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the worksheet here and just do a couple of problems. I'm going to do number 2 with you, and just to make sure that we're all on the same page. But you really need the answers 3, 4, and 5. Whoops, that didn't work. So let me finish erasing this and we'll get back to the problem. But once you have that chart drawn, everything kind of becomes a little bit, or it should be a little bit easier for you. So this scenario, we have a carrier female. Carrier female marries a colorblind male, and they want to know if their children can be. So again, a carrier female, look at your chart. It's a female, so she's XX, but she's a carrier, so she's X big N, X little n. The male, right? Male is colorblind, so it's XY because he's male, and he's colorblind, so he's X little n Y. So we go to the Punnett square over here, and of course we have the female, and we have the male, and now we're going to add our n's. The male is affected, so he's X little n Y. The female is a carrier, so she's heterozygous for the trait. And then we can just fill in our basic Punnett square, and half of them will be girls, half of them will be boys. Now I can start adding my n's. And in this first box, right, we have a big N and a little n. Second box, little n, little n. Okay, third box, X big N, X little n. Alright, so when we look at the possible offspring, right, what are the chances of having a colorblind daughter? Well, we can look at one of 2 ways. Number one, if they have a daughter, right, here we have a colorblind daughter. So there's a 50% chance if they have a daughter, right? Or overall, if they just have a child, it's a 1 out of 4, 25% chance. Right? So that's if they have a girl, and this is overall just with the child. Okay. What are the chances of having a colorblind son? We look at this, and again, same scenario. Right? 1 out of 4. And if they have a boy, it's a 50% chance. Right? Same thing. Right? And a 25% chance overall. Now, what are the chances of them having a normal? And this goes for another here. What are the chances of them having a normal vision daughter? Same thing. Same scenario. About 50% chance or 25% chance. And same thing with the son. So this is important to know. If you have a female that is a carrier and a male that is colorblind, it is possible that they can have colorblind children. Okay. That concludes the sex-linked trait. And please do questions 3, 4, and 5. See Mr. Matthews with any questions.